let's get straight into it. For the most part of getting into fitness, I was vegan or vegetarian. Later down the line, vegetarian, but for the most part, I was vegan, which just basically means that I was eating absolutely no meat. Now, if you came here to watch a video of somebody just shitting on veganism, you're wrong. I built quite a bit of muscle during this time. A lot of that was newbie gains. And I still agree with a lot of the sentiment that I came towards when I was vegan. So a lot of the animals that are being mistreated during factory farming, a lot of the kind of the love of nature, the love of animals, the caring of animals. And I also recognize that I am now, since I eat meat, I'm now a hypocrite. You often see people talk down on veganism and why it's so bad, and oh, you're not gonna get your protein, and it's so shit. And actually, I got my protein pretty fine. I built muscle. I think a lot of this is an excuse not to at least try the diet. I recommend people to at least try things, try the diet, try carnivore, try veganism, try a million diets, see which one works best for you, because a lot of times this does come down to genetics. After I gave my flowers to veganism and why it's a pretty decent diet, let me get by why it didn't work for me. It didn't work for me because the diet has a lot of carbs in it. So because it has a lot of carbs, I often felt bloated. I often felt a little bit tired. Although, if you watch my other video, like way early on my channel when I first started to become vegan, I actually said I had high energy. The reason why I said I had high energy is because I cut out processed foods. Now that's the biggest thing. That right there is the big kahuna, is the processed foods, the foods that are super processed and that they put in a factory and they add all these preservatives and these artificial colorings. That's what's actually going to make you tired. So when I started the vegan diet, I was feeling an abundance of energy, but then that abundance of energy slowly started to dissipate because I noticed that after a meal, I felt I felt less energy. I felt, a little down. That's because of the carbohydrates in the vegan diet. The vegan diet is mostly carbs and protein. So when people say you don't get your protein in, that's just dumb. Plants have protein in it. They have a lot of protein in it. They're probably the second best protein source besides obviously meat. But it was mainly the carbs. It was mainly me feeling tired. And another thing about carbs is they cause a lot of brain fog. So when I would sit down and I would work and I would edit, I would try to study, I would try to read, it gave me so much brain fog and so less focus, even though I still got a decent amount of focus backed up by meditation and some of the other practices I was doing at that time. But I did feel a whole lot of brain fog from the carbs. Even at that time, I tried to go vegan keto because I didn't want to start eating meat again. So I was like, I'll go vegan keto, and that was like a 2-day thing. That didn't last very long because that is even more restrictions on the diet. So although I did have a lot of carbs, I was very lean, but over time it kind of dissipates and you actually start getting bloated. That's an interesting thing with the vegan diet when you first start out. And I actually watched another video of this guy named Noah Fleming. So I actually really like his content, but he had a similar thing where he was making all these gains on the vegan diet and he felt energy and all that stuff, but over time it actually dissipates. And I think this is because your body starts acclimating to the vegan diet. It starts to maybe get all that stuff that meat had in it and throw it away. So I started introducing meat back to my diet. I started off with eggs, then I started off with fish, and then I just started going ham eating meat. where I messed up is I started to eat processed foods again. So I started to eat a lot of nasty processed food. Sometimes I still mess up today. You know, if I want something quick, I might go to a fast food. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I still fuck up. It's very rare, super rare, right? It's not like, you know, the standard American diet. But I still may fuck up here and there. When I first stopped the vegan diet, I started to go back to the processed foods, go back to the bullshit, which made me even more bloated and made me even more feel like shit. So I'm like, damn, what's the diet for me? Is it just balanced foods? Is it just veganism? And what I had recently discovered is a testosterone based diet. Now I'm gonna actually make a whole video about a testosterone based diet, but this is just more about the transition. But testosterone based diet is basically putting your hormones and your testosterone first, right? So if you look into the modern world, what we have is we have a lot of ingredients in our food, mainly soy. What's wrong? What's wrong, people? Mainly soy, right, that are holding us back. So as men, we produce testosterone, and our testosterone is basically the fuel, our motivation, the feeling of I just want to get after it. The best way that somebody describes testosterone is enjoying working hard, right? So I was like, that's awesome. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to optimize that. I'm gonna base my foods around that. And what you actually learn about the testosterone based diet is that it's very cheap. Even though the vegan diet was very cheap as well, even though it had some stuff that was expensive here and there, the testosterone diet is super cheap. So it's literally like eggs, beef, cheese, a few fruits and vegetables. Not a lot of fruits and vegetables. So that's actually a big transition. Is I don't actually eat a lot of fruits. I don't actually eat a lot of vegetables, because mainly because of the high carb content that's in them. And if you what you realize is that actually red meat has a lot of the vitamins that you need already in it. So don't cut these completely out. But if I'm stripping a food down to the vitamins, down to the antioxidants, and down to the benefits, then I find that the sugars and the carbs that are in fruits and that are in vegetables are kind of useless when you just have a couple vitamins and you eat your meat. Not saying that you shouldn't do it at all, but you know, have them here and there and not too much. So once I started to eat a little bit more meat, I started to feel a lot better, a lot wholer, and I started to get bigger and stronger. So I had a stunt while I was working out on the vegan diet where I wasn't really gaining that much muscle, and I was actually getting a little bit skinnier. And you can actually see a video here of me doing rain dips, and this was like 2-3 years within working out, and I was like as skinny as I started off, if not skinnier. So that was really weird to me, and that's what I mean by the tapering off of the benefits, right? So when I started eating meat, you could say that so when I started to eat meat, I started to gain a lot of muscle. Now you could say that, oh, you worked out more, and of course you're gonna gain muscle because you've been on the fitness, you've been doing fitness for longer, and that's all true. There's really no perfect comparison unless I literally go vegan for like 5 years. Unless I have like a twin brother and he goes vegan and I eat meat and we do the comparisons there. But yeah, there's absolutely no way to kind of draw the line down completely and say, oh, this is right or this is right. Enjoying the testosterone based diet, and I'm enjoying introducing meat into my diet. I'm enjoying going out to eat and having to eat with friends and having a more balanced diet. But the main thing is just processed foods. That's what I learned. That's what I learned from being a vegan is just, oh, the reason why you're feeling so good, the reason why you're feeling so many benefits is just the processed bullshit that you've been eating. You know, when I was I would just eat whatever. I would just eat donuts, cookies, like absolutely anything. Yeah, I still eat some of that stuff now, but it's not at the same frequency, right? So yeah. So that's why I went from vegan to eating meat. Pretty plain and simple. I'm not shitting on the vegan diet. If it works for you, it works for you. I agree with the sentiment of the animals and the naturing and all that stuff. But for my goals and kind of what I want to do in life, which is bodybuilding, natural bodybuilding at a high level, it just doesn't work for me. And yeah, but if it works for you, that's awesome. What I recommend for most people is a testosterone based diet. And I'm gonna make a video going deeper, perhaps a slideshow, going deeper into a testosterone based diet, what it constitutes, the recipes I can possibly share, and a little bit more into that. But for now, I'll see you on the next one. Externalize greatness.